Dear students, let us learn about Roman civilization and their great contribution to the society. Roman civilization. Roman civilization developed on number of small city-states. Italy is a peninsula. Peninsula means a place where three sides of water and one side is covered by the land. And Italy is a peninsula which spreads down into the Mediterranean Sea towards the southern part of European continent. Alps mountain range is to the northern part of Italy, whereas Alpine mountain ranges passes through the center part of the Italy. Rome is situated on the banks of river Tiber. It is 25 kilometers away from the Mediterranean Sea. In the plains between Alpines and the Mediterranean Sea, a tribal group of people called as Latins, they lived over and they were the one who developed this Roman civilization. Around 2700 years back, these Latins, they settled in the place called Rome on the banks of river Tiber. The ancient people of Rome were called as patricians. The word patrician is originated from the Latin word pater, which means father. So here you are seeing a map of Italy, and Rome is the capital of Italy. So Rome comprises of number of small city states like Tuscany, Abruzzo, Marche, Venetia, like that. So you can see here map showing the different city states in different colors. This is a region of Italy. And here is a beautiful picture of river Tiber on which the Roman civilization existed. So these Romans, they believed Romulus and Remus as their forefathers. And in the ancient time, Rome was ruled by the king. That means there was a rule of monarchy. And these Romans had two important political advisory institutions called by the name Assembly and Senate. And Assembly was made up of all the middle-aged men, whereas Senate was the elite institution which was very influential. Elite refers to superior group of people in terms of ability or qualities when compared to the rest of the other group of the people. And the Senate had more power to reject the proposals of the assembly and the king. So the Senate dominated the assembly and the king. And during the 6th century BCE, the monarchy was abolished and the republican form of government was established. Around 3rd century BCE, the administration of the whole of Italy came under the control of republican form of the government. Even under the Roman Republic, the Senate and the Assembly, they continued as an advisory institution. Here is a picture of Roman Assembly. And the members of these institutions, they headed the armies during the war, and they were the one who is to enforce the law and dispensed justice. Dispensed means they were the people who provided the law to the society. There were two kinds of classes in the Roman society. They are patricians and plebeians. What is the difference between these two groups? The patricians were the elite in the society. They were very superior, like the group of landowners. They form the upper strata, and it is they who control the Senate. Whereas the plebeians refers to the common people, like ordinary workers, small landowners, artisans, small traders, and soldiers. They form the plebeians. What is the meaning of artisans? Artisans are those workers who are skilled in trade, who are very good in making the various articles in their hand, and they form the plebeians. And the rights of the plebeians were very much limited. They were meant to pay the taxes and they have to undergo the punishment given by the patricians. Patricians were considered as very superior in the society. So here is a picture which tells us the difference between the patricians and the plebeians. So as said earlier, patricians were very wealthy, powerful citizens, whereas plebeians were common people. Nobles formed the patricians, whereas the common peasants, craft people, traders and other workers were there in the plebeians group. Small minority of the population comprised of patricians, whereas the majority of the people, they formed plebeians. And these patricians, once they controlled all aspects of the government, whereas the plebeians have to fight to gain the right to participate in the affairs of the government. It is said that after 218 BC, they were not allowed to participate in trade or the commerce, whereas the plebeians, they were the people, Romans, who could be the traders. So many became wealthy in future. Now, the decisions taken by the council and the senate regarding the plebeians could be rejected by the tribunes. Who were called tribunes? Tribunes were the officials in the ancient Roman society. They were formed by the plebeians mainly to protect their interest. And in the 5th century BC, the plebeians rebelled against this system. As a result of that, the patricians has to grant them some concession, and the plebeians got the right to choose the members of the tribunes. That means they had the right to choose some of the officials. And it was around this time that a rule based on Roman law was also established. Roman law is another great contribution of the Roman civilization, and that became the basis for other countries to frame a law. And these Roman laws provided awareness over their rights, and they learned to oppose the violation of their rights. A desire also started to expand, which exposed the Romans into the newer conflicts. Hence, they started to battle with Carthage. What is Carthage? It is a name of a place, and the people who settled originally in the Mediterranean coast of the Near East or the coastal town in North Africa, they were called as Carthaginians. Here is a picture of the beautiful place Carthage. And Sicily was another important city-state in Italy, and the Romans fought for the control of the Sicily area for 118 years. Since it was a fertile area, always there used to be a clash to obtain or to exercise their power over Sicily. And these wars, which took place to gain the Sicily territory, is also referred as Punic Wars, and the Carthaginians were defeated in this war. By early 1st century BC, the Romans had to conquer Greece and some parts of Asia and also the Egypt. And the Romans also were very famous for the construction of amphitheaters, and the Rome won over a lot of gold and innumerable slaves after winning the battles. So Rome not only had patricians and plebeians, but they also had slaves. After winning the battle, the defeated army soldiers were brought to their country and they were treated as slaves. So here is a beautiful picture of amphitheater, and amphitheater was the place where they used to entertain. This is a contribution of the Romans. And the slaves, they did not have any rights of citizenship. Slaves were considered as the private property of their owners, and the slaves were sold in the open market like the animals. There were instances where the slaves secured their freedom under special conditions. And these Romans, who had immersed themselves in their pride of status, used the slaves as gladiators. Gladiators refers to the wrestlers of ancient Rome, and they were both expert and amateur wrestlers among them. And the Romans used to amuse at the combat of the gladiators from the amphitheater. Combat refers to the fighting between the armed forces, and the majority of the slaves and prisoners, they used to lose their lives in such game. For them, it was entertainment, but it was a question of life and death to the slaves. So here is a picture of the Roman slaves. They were treated very badly and they were used for entertainment. So, as I said, the gladiators, the wrestlers of Roman civilization. Here is a beautiful picture. And the fights which used to organize was mainly for the purpose of entertainment to the audience or to the spectators. And these fights which were fought between the human beings and sometimes even between the human beings and the animals ended in gruesome deaths of the participants. That means sometimes the hungry lions were let in to kill the slaves, and gruesome refers to it was a very horror to watch, but for them it was a entertainment. The place where the gladiators fought were called as amphitheater and colosseums. Criminals, slaves, and prisoners of war who had to lose their citizenship rights were taken as gladiators. And these gladiators were rarely used to obtain their freedom by becoming popular and wealthy. Recently, a film titled Gladiator has become world famous. Over a period of time, the chaos or the confusions also engulfed, means surrounded the Roman state. Now, rebellions and assassinations took place regularly. So, here is a picture of Colosseum. You can see the hungry lion is let in, and all the people are sitting all around the Colosseum to watch and to get the entertainment. How the hungry lion will chase, hunt, and kill the slaves. So, over a period of time, this confusion engulfed the Roman state. Now, the rebellions, assassinations also took place regularly. Bribery and corruption also took place during the elections, and elections became the order of the day. At this juncture, around 60,000 poor and exploited slaves rose in the rebellion under the leadership of Spartacus. 1 year after their struggle, they were ruthlessly suppressed by the king. Around 60,000 people were crucified at this time also. This is another example for the cruelty of Romans. The military generals, on the account of continuous wars, it reduced the authority of the Senate to insignificance. The Senate started to become unpopular. Pompey and Julius Caesar are the prominent among the military generals. There were hundreds of such military generals, and they are considered as the most popular military generals. Julius Caesar, in the course of the time, the rule of the first triumvirate. What is the meaning of triumvirate? Refers to it's a group of three men who holded the power, and they were unofficial coalition of three great military generals, the Julius Caesar, the Pompey, and Crassus. These three together, it was called as triumvirate. As the military generals, they could defeat and win over the territories of France, England, whereas Pompey won the Syria and Turkey. Crassus died while winning over Parthian territory. Like this, Rome, which was just a city-state, gradually became a big empire. Julius Caesar defeated and killed his rival Pompey. Caesar won the love of Cleopatra. She was the queen of Egypt. She was the last queen of Egypt. The powerful Caesar, he declared himself as the dictator of Rome and weakened the Roman republican system. And Julius Caesar was assassinated. By the time, Roman agriculture, industry, and commerce has also evolved a lot, and he implemented Julian calendar in his name. His works were continued by his son Augustus Caesar. Here is a picture or a statue of Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus. You can see the bust of all these three great military generals of Roman Empire. So here is a picture of the last queen of Egypt, Cleopatra. Augustus Caesar, the previous name of him was Octavius. He formed the second triumvirate with Mark Antony and Lepidus. Later, he chased away Lepidus and shared the kingdom with Antony. Augustus Caesar, he defeated Antony as he sided with Cleopatra. Mark Antony and Cleopatra committed suicide. It is said that Cleopatra was known for her great beauty, and because of her beauty, the enemies used to be defeated. But Augustus Caesar did not come under her beauty, and when Cleopatra came to know that she has been defeated, she committed suicide. After this, Augustus assumed the title Imperator. He consolidated all the power with himself and ruled for a longer period. The period of Augustus Caesar is called as the golden period of Roman Empire. Jesus Christ lived during his period. Augustus undertook many welfare programs, like he declared himself as the great ruler. He changed the Rome from mere bricks city into a white marble city, and Pax Romana was established. The meaning of Pax Romana refers to peaceful period of Rome. So here is a picture of Augustus Caesar and Pax Romana, which is the greatest contribution of Augustus Caesar. Pax Romana, as I said, was a peaceful period of Rome after Augustus Caesar, except Marcus Aurelius and Constantine. The last rulers of Rome were incapable rulers. As we know that the Jews, they hated the Christianity, and Jesus Christ was crucified, and Rome did not accept the Christianity. When Constantine became the ruler, the entire Rome converted into Christianity. And during this period, there was a very cruel, barbaric attack by Odoacer. This Odoacer, he was a great king who led to the fall of the ancient Roman Empire around 1500 years ago. So here is a picture of Constantine. Constantine accepted the Christianity. After that, Rome became the center of activity for the Christian. So today, Rome is the headquarters for Christianity. Coming to the contribution of Romans in the field of literature, they achieved a lot in the field of literature. Virgil is the famous Rome's greatest poet, and Aeneid was a classical epic poem which was written in the Latin language. Ovid was another great poet. He has documented the mystical stories of Greek in his book Metamorphoses. Apart from these popular poets, there were other poets like Cicero, Plutus, Terence, and others. Julius Caesar, he himself was also a good historian, and he had edited the Gallic battles in 7 volumes. Livy and Tacitus were other important historians who belonged to this period. So the history of Roman literature started during the 3rd century BC, and it reached its golden age during the rule of Augustus Caesar and the early part of the Roman Empire. So here is a picture of Virgil, who was a great Italian poet. Aeneid was the greatest contribution. It is a classical epic poem which is written in the Latin language. Ovid, poet. Cicero and Terence, they were also the great poets who have contributed immensely to the Roman literature. Coming to the philosophers, Romans continued the philosophy and thoughts of the Greeks, rather creating the new ones. Cato, who is also known as the Socrates of the West, is of importance. Like Socrates is a very famous philosopher of Greeks. Similarly, Cato was considered as a great philosopher of Roman Empire. Cicero, Seneca, and Emperor Marcus Aurelius, they advocated Stoicism, and it advocated living at peace with the nature. Coming to the contributions of the Romans in the field of art and architecture, Colosseum and amphitheaters, they are the 2 best examples and the greatest contribution which tells us about the Romans' superiority in the field of architecture. Pantheon was the largest building of the Rome, and it was the biggest dome. whereas Cupid's statue and Arapasis statue, they are the best example sculptures of the Romans. Coming to the field of science, Romans had a deep knowledge in mathematics and even in the science. Pliny the Elder prepared an encyclopedia named Natural History. So here is a picture of Cato and Seneca, who were the great people, contributed immensely to the Roman mathematics and the science field. So the famous sayings goes like this: the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So here is a Cupid statue, the baby with the beautiful wings. Arapasis statue. And here is a beautiful Pantheon. Pantheon refers to the temple which was constructed to dedicate all the gods. So this is a beautiful temple called Pantheon. And Pliny, who was the greatest elderly architect, we can say, and also the great contributor to the field of mathematics and the science. Delivering the human babies through caesarean section or caesarean operation was firstly began by the Romans. They had a vision correctional eye operation also during that time. Galen was the famous doctor of that period. Strabo and Ptolemy were the famous geographers. The laws of the Romans became the base for all the modern laws, and this is their unique contribution in the field of legal studies. So here is a picture of Ptolemy and Strabo and Galen, the great physician and the doctor at that time. So how did the Roman law originated? When the Roman Republic was established in 509 BCE, the Romans had already possessed a body of customary law, that is non-written law based upon the customs and traditions. So like how the English people have unwritten constitution, similarly they too had non-written law based customs and tradition. This customary law was only applied to Roman citizens, and thus it was called as Isu civilia, that means civil law or law which is made only for the people of Roman Empire, the law which was made to the citizens of Rome. And these citizens of Rome were divided into two classes, as said earlier: patricians, who comprised of noble people, and plebeians, the members of the plebs or the common people. Thank you.